we are providing transforming medical cooling solution, which based on a very precise cooling technology, various cooling technologies. So this technology, the cooling solution has not been very well explored in medical sector, and we are using this solution for various application. So our primary product, ocular cooling anesthesia, which I will introduce further very soon, has been tested, intensively tested with more than 100 US patients at very respectable, prestigious US hospitals. The total number of application has been over 500, and we have not seen any adverse event. And the clinical outcome has been very great. More than a majority of patients has been satisfied with our cooling anesthesia, over standard of care, and not only satisfying a patient, improving patient experience. Our cooling anesthesia also dramatically reduced the treatment time by reducing the anesthesia onset time. And our company has raised more than 20 million US dollar, total funding. And not only cooling anesthesia, we've identified various indications which could be treated by precision cooling, including atopic dermatitis, seborrheic dermatitis, eczema, lichen simplex chronicus. So many the indications we have identified, which already some published by others, but the precision cooling condition, quantitative cooling condition has not been identified, and we are identifying them. And this cooling is not, as I said, very well explored. So we are filing a lot of patents, more than 50 issued or pending patents so far. So our company was founded in 2016, and we are actually located in Ulsan, the first TIPS company in Ulsan, and the first Utech Valley, Kibo Utech Valley company in Korea. And we are now we have multiple pipelines, including ocular anesthesia, as I said, and we have completed phase 1, phase 2 trial, and now so we are doing a pivotal phase 3 trial at 8 US hospitals. So, I am CEO of the company. My background is heat transfer and the cell cooling and the thermal cooling. And we have not only some R&D facility, R&D expertise, but also a regulatory and quality control assurance expertise in-house full-time. And our major product is being intensively tested in the USA, and we have very great clinical advisory board in the USA. And they are very recognized, a top recruiter in the USA. And we have also a dermatologist, not only in the USA, also Korea. So let me introduce more deeply, a detail, what is our primary product, ocular cooling anesthesia, which provides a painless IVT, intravitreal injection in 1 minute. And what is the intravitreal injection? So because of aging population and the increasing number of diabetic patients, the vision-threatening diseases, for example, the representative vision-threatening diseases are age-related macular degeneration and the diabetic retinopathy. The number of patients having this disease is increasing dramatically. And the standard of care for such diseases is intravitreal injection, which is nothing but monthly injections directly into the eye. And since the early 2000s, when these drugs for these diseases was firstly introduced, the number of IVTs has dramatically increased. The problem is the number of doctors cannot catch these rapidly increasing IVTs. And depending on the size of hospital, a daily IVT number can range from 30 to 100, and it is not an occasional event. More than half of weekdays is done for this intravitreal injection. So this intravitreal injection represents a very significant portion of hospital revenue. So making this IVT procedure time efficient provides a lot like a some unique business opportunity in retinal disease market. So looking at like what is how this like a procedure like can occur. So when retinal specialists visit patient and they decide to do IVT, then the first thing they need to do is the anesthesia, because the eye is such a sensitive organism like in our body, and this is very painful and fearsome like psychologically. So anesthesia must be performed like both for patient satisfaction, also safety purpose. But the problem is the oral anesthesia currently is given by pharmacology anesthetic, and this like eye like ocular surface takes like typically 5 to 10 minutes to get onset of anesthesia. And during that time, like a doctor does like other job, like visiting other patient and doing other like their task. And the second visit, like waiting like for like 5 to 10 minutes. Then second visit, they do like a major like a treatment procedure like a IVT. So as you can see in this time chart, the anesthesia takes the most the biggest time portion of this the whole treatment. So this is the key issue, like to make this procedure efficient, time efficient. So the pharmacology anesthetic like, could be delivered in various ways. Like the most familiar way to most Korean is the topical pilocarpine. But that is not very like efficient, effective like compared with the other like lidocaine-based anesthesia. So, for example, subconjugal lidocaine or pledged lidocaine or lidocaine gel. And you see the number behind below just the method of anesthesia. So the 34% of retinal specialists is using like a subconjugal lidocaine, because this reduces the pain like mostly. So the least amount of pain like a patient can get from subconjugal lidocaine. So the portion of doctor like using like a less painful like anesthesia method is increasing because the patient demanded. So the hospital wants to have a more time efficient way of anesthesia, but like some patient demand a less painful like a way. So like recent medical aims at both patient comfort and the time efficient method of anesthesia. So to do that, like we develop the physical like anesthesia method rather than like using like a pharmacologic agent. We use a precision cooling and precise cool like eyes or ocular surface to the temperature of anesthesia, like which blocks the nerve transmission, signal transmission, and it takes just 10 seconds, which is now clinically proven. And because this is a very immediate, like instantaneous onset of anesthesia, doctor doesn't need to leave patient alone. They can do both anesthesia and the injection during a single visit, making whole process a 1-minute procedure. So this we incorporate so we realize this concept of like a technology in a very like a handheld and battery powered and rapid process simple operation of this handheld device. And this is like something like ocular cooling anesthesia has never been reviewed by FDA. So this is like first of kind ocular cooling anesthesia, and we are now like doing the regulatory procedure confirmed by FDA like a de novo. And the device does not have any external power, battery power, so like a single charge can take an entire whole clinical day. And yeah, so like we have not only like some prototype, but also like we have some prepared actual product which is mass manufacturable. So like with this product, like we have discussed with the FDA intensively like for the last 3 years, and before phase 1 and phase 2 trial, we met FDA, like did a pre-submitting with the FDA, and like we agreed with a certain clinical design, like the phase 1 trial essentially the measures the safety of the device, like a technology, and the phase 2 trial, like we tested the long-term safety of this technology because the IVT is given like a monthly, so like every month like they get injections. So like we did monthly the long-term safety. Also we measure BOS score, like what is the pain score, the efficacy of cooling anesthesia, and also other like safety measures like intraocular pressure and etc. So the summary of these like a phase 1 phase trial is the big size some clinical trial over 100 patients and over 500 cooling applications that has been performed, and we saw like a very we have not seen any like a safety concern, no adverse event, and the pain score which represent the efficacy of anesthesia has been found to be very good. And most interestingly, the older patient, like a majority of patients participated in this trial, phase 1, phase 2 trial, they prefer cooling anesthesia over their standard of care method or method of anesthesia. So we actually used the question, which anesthesia would you prefer for the next injection, and 82% prefer cooling. And this is the testimonial, some finishing the long-term safety trial, 12 repetition over 2.5 years, and they just said this needs to be made available to everyone as soon as possible. Needs to be made available to clinic as soon as possible. So work hard to commercialize it. So we are getting a very good some patient some experience, and the doctor and nurses.
All right, so my question for you is...
So because of lack of time, I just missed it, some skip it. So this is actual, the clinical trial, how to use the device. So this is actual device, a cooling eye surface. So you just see antiseptic agent, which is povidone iodine. So that is a device, and which cools the ocular surface for about 10 seconds, precise cooling. So there is no concern about the frostbite, for example. So you see a little mark there, and that is povidone iodine, antiseptic. And then you see a mark of anesthesia, and the injection, intravitreal injection could be performed. And then you see there is no reaction. So they don't feel, a patient didn't feel injection pain, most of the patient. So we have had got a great clinical result, and doing our pivotal trial, a phase 3 trial with a very respectable 10 U.S. hospitals. For example, Wyss Eye Hospital is the oldest U.S. ophthalmic hospital. So that is our major product, and I want to expand. Do I have time? So I want to expand that the cooling is not used not only for anesthesia, but some many publication literature data suggests this could be very useful for inflammation treatment and also autoimmune diseases, for example atopic dermatitis and alopecia areata. And the problem is the cooling technology. There has not been very practical cooling technology which can address the clinical demand. So a laser and the RF, that is a very precision a heating method. But if you look at the precision a cooling method, there has not been many. So we are doing that, exploring that unmet area, unmet needs. And this is another some pipeline which some rather than some ocular cooling anesthesia that is a preset temperature. But this is the platform technology which the user can control temperature anywhere between -50 Celsius and +5 Celsius. You see that how this is very precise. The bottom temperature is a skin temperature, the target temperature, and the real temperature. You see the top one, 0 Celsius setting, and the 30 second, and very fast and very precise temperature control. And by doing that, we have been able to identify the cooling condition which can reduce the, for example here, atopic dermatitis biomarker. Interestingly enough, interleukin-4, 13, which is the Dupixent target, could be were found to be reduced dramatically with certain cooling conditions. So precision cooling is very required to reduce the inflammation. So this is other like examples of like with our cooling technology. So atopic dermatitis, you can see left before and after, and the hair loss, like alopecia areata. Also, this is autoimmune disease. So cooling, like we can do that. Eczema also, and we are identifying many like some quantitative cooling conditions for some various diseases. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.